Hi there everybody, it's Verity here from inkybutterfly.com. Thank you for joining me today. I'm not doing a card today, I'm doing a little 3D project. This is the project I made as my swap for a recent craft event that I went to. So I made 40 of these plus a few to give out to the other crafters as a little bit of a little gift and a little bit of inspiration. So there's a whole bag of goodies that I've got down into my craft room right now that I haven't had a real chance to go through and have a look at yet, but there's been some other videos posted from a few of us having a look through all of those. But this is what I made, and I didn't put my name on it, so everyone's like, oh, I don't know who this was from. It was from me. So this is what we're making. It's really easy. I struggle with 3D projects, so it needed to be something really nice and easy for me to do. Okay, so as you can see, it's just it's got this little string closure on it, and when you open it up, inside there are a couple of little mini nail files. Okay, so I'm just going to pop those out because I will need them for my sample. And I've just got some patterned paper in there. I don't use a lot of DSP, but I brought some DSP out to do the little folded portion in the middle there, and it's basically sandwiched between two die cut tags. So I'm just going to show you how I have made that. Okay, all right. So the tags themselves come from this set. This is the tailor-made tags, and I used the largest one of these ones. Obviously if you wanted to make something smaller for a different project, you possibly could. If you were doing a single nail file, maybe the next one down would fit. So, you know, have a mess about with it. It's something that you can do with a variety of things. You could also potentially do it with you know, just a strip of cardstock that you then use the very best trio on to do the corners. You could use a strip of cardstock and do it with this punch as well. This is the everyday label punch. So lots of different ways to go about doing this, but this is what I opted for because I wanted that nice stitched detail on it as well. So that's what we've got there, and the stamping is using Shaded Summer. Okay, so I've already got one tag cut. We just need to do another one. Now these tags fit the mini cut and emboss, so we'll bring in that. So this is a great little die cut machine, brilliant if you're on a budget and you want a die cut machine, and I would say this is a lovely addition to a starter kit as well. So we've got that extra offer at the moment where you get a little bit of extra spending money on your starter kit. That's only until the end of this month though, so if you want to take advantage of that, you need to get in there quick. So that extra money could potentially go towards one of these. Okay, so the starter kit is completely customizable and you can put in whatever you want. We don't, or Stampin' Up rather, don't tell you what you're supposed to include. It's entirely your choice, depending on the kind of craft that you want to do. And then, like I say, you can spend that money. It's free shipping, and then you do get a free business pack that you can use or not, as the case may be. You don't have to be on YouTube and do all this other stuff. You can just shop for a discount, because that's the other perk of being a demonstrator. You also get access to early release products. So at the moment there is a stamp set, or collection actually, couple of stamp sets and some dies and things that we can currently pre-order, and you'd be able to add that to your starter kit too, and you'd get in on that early release. You get discount for things, and then you know, we have team events and corporate events and things that we can go to too. So there's loads of perks to being a demonstrator, and I just love the community and the friendship really that you get as part of being part of a team like that. So now we've got our tags, we're actually going to do a little bit of trimming on here. So we need to take off 3/4 of an inch on one of those tags. Okay, so that's going to form the back. So we'll flip that round and make the nice side onto the back. And then this one we're going to score. So that 3/4 we're actually going to score at half and then 3/4 to make our sort of gusset and glue flap. So we're basically replacing that with those two there to make our little thing at the back there. And we can pop that on the back and they should be the same size now. Okay, so that's how we've done that. So take off 3/4 from one and then score at a half and 3/4 to get the gusset on the other. That's all we need to do. So the one with the fold is going to be at the front, so we've got this nice clean edge to go at the front. So if we were to fold it the other way, you'd end up with this potentially not so pretty line at the front, whereas if you put the one with the crease there, you get that nice smooth finish. So the one with the creases in is our front, so this is the one we're going to stamp on. So we'll just need a bit of scrap just to protect my surface just a minute, because the stamp is a little larger than that. So we'll just put that underneath just to protect my work surface just for a second. You'll see in a minute which paper we're using. So I'm going to use, what colour should I use? I'm going to use Gorgeous Grape. That's what I'm going to use. And this nice large shaded summer stamp. I wanted something that was solid, that looked good in a single colour, because I was making multiples. Now if you're making these smaller numbers of these, something a little bit more bespoke, you may want to choose a different set. You know, this is entirely up to you how you want to decorate this, but I wanted something quick, fast, that I could do multiple times without having to really think too hard about it. So this solid stamp was perfect for that. Okay, but obviously, you know, you swap and change that to suit what you need. Okay, on the original I actually used Memento to stamp the sentiment. I'm tempted just to use the Gorgeous Grape because it's out really, to be honest. So, you know, again, there's your choice. Use a contrasting colour, matching colour, whatever. We could use so the paper I've got out has got fresh freesia in it, could have used that, but let's just do that for ease. Okay, and we're going to use the double oval punch. So when I was making my batch of these, I cut a strip, so you can probably see there that this one fits very nicely. It's probably about an inch or so wide, and I got about 5 on a strip, and I went along and punched them all out, which made the process a lot quicker. So again, punches are really good for batch making because you can punch rather than having to line up dies all the time. Okay, so by far the most complicated part of doing this as a batch was all the die cutting of the tags, but what I just did was I just did a few at a time over the course of a few days, and that got the job done. So there we go. So I'm just going to put a bit of dimensional on the back of that. Those are all the side pieces that I've chopped down, because you know, you get that happening with those. So whilst we've got, before I show you the next bit, I'm going to set some glue onto this little tab here and pop that into place so that that's drying, ready to receive the part in the centre. So that's going to form our thing. So I'm just going to leave that flat to dry completely, and we've got our little thing for the front. So this I did attempt to try and show you that this was a full strip of paper, but you're going to have to work with me and use your imagination a little bit on this one, okay? But this is Hues of Happiness Designer Series paper, really pretty. This is the ones that I use, so you can actually get 12, because you can get 12 of these out of a whole sheet of paper. So again, it was really quite economical on paper. So again, as part of the batching process, what I did was I cut the strip, which happens to be 3 7/8 of an inch. Okay, so you ended up with like a skinny strip at the end. Now I did a floating DSP video last week, and so that extra strip, that's what I used for that project. So 3 7/8 of an inch. So I cut the strip and then did all my scoring as well. So these have already been scored, okay, and that is at, if I remember rightly, let me just double check this for you. Yeah, so 1 1/4 and 2 1/2. Okay, 1 1/4 and 2 1/2. Okay, so strip, do your scoring, and then chop it into your 4 sections, and that's 2 1/2 inches. Yeah, 2 1/2 inches, which makes the perfect size for our little folded element that we're going to put in the middle. Okay, so when you've got your little thing, so you'll see that one flap goes in and is flush with the next score line. Okay, so that's your 1 1/4 and 1 1/4, and they're flush. This one is a little bit longer. Okay, and that's going to allow for the thickness of the nail file as we wrap it around. So your fat end, your fat score end, goes to the right of the finished project. Okay, and then all we're going to do is, where that score line is, we're just going to fold in a corner. Okay, you can take a bone folder to it if you want. It's probably not that critical that it's too crisp a fold. So again, this one we're going to just bend this corner down to that score line, or just before it. You don't want to get the paper in the way. Okay, so you just score that if you like. So we end up with this kind of look. I actually borrowed this idea off somebody sent me a nice little thank you thing in the post, who's also a paper crafter. That's Katrina King. So she sent through a little thank you gifts, and I've just modified it and changed it for my thing. So this larger portion has just got enough slack in it to cover the depth of those files, and then and then come across, and it comes out the right width if you do it like that. Okay, and then we just want to run some adhesive onto this portion to secure that in place. Okay, so it's tight enough to hold them, but you can still push them out from the bottom. Okay, in fact I've probably done that a little bit too tight, so there we go, but you can still get them out. Okay, that's how we do that portion. Okay, really easy, just a couple of folds. All right, hope that was okay. So 3 7/8 by 2 1/2 if you're making one. Scored at 1 1/4 and 2 1/2. Okay, and then fold in the corners to make your folded pocket for the centre here. Okay, so we can just bring in our little thingy tag thing that we've made. All right, okay, so that's going to sit there, and we can just put some adhesive on the back of this to secure that in place. So I did use wet glue for this because it is stronger, and you know, we're going to be manipulating this potentially, so a little bit of wet glue just to position that in the bottom at the back there. Give it some pressure. Okay, and that's our little pouch done, really. Just needed to thread some, this is some of the basics, basic baker's twine. So you get basic white, very vanilla, crumb cake, grey granite and basic black. 5 spools. So just loop that through, and that's pretty much it. We just add our little message on the front. So again, you could tweak and twerk this. You could be doing these as little wedding favours, or I don't know, whatever. Birthday treats. So I've gone monochromatic with the stencilment there. This one was Coastal Cabana and the black, so you can really customise this to make it your own. It's probably as long as you could probably make this with the die cuts, but if you're using a punch and a strip of cardstock, you could probably make that a little longer to suit something more substantial. Maybe it's a full size nail file or something like that. So okay, so I hope that was okay, and you've enjoyed seeing how I did that. Thanks a lot for joining me. I hope you're staying safe and taking care, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye everyone.